everyone, welcome to Yoga with Catherine Zehner. I am Catherine Zehner, and as you can see behind me, I have my mat rolled out ready to do some yoga with you today. If you have any medical conditions, please contact your doctor before you practice with us so that you are safe. So let's go ahead and go to our mats and start class. So we'll do a brief centering. Go ahead and lie down on your back. And if you need to bend your knees, if you have any achiness in your back, go ahead and bend your knees and allow the knees to collapse into each other. If you have a bolster, you can put that under your knees, arms by your sides, or hands can rest on your belly. And I'm going to go ahead and straighten my legs. Some of you might feel more comfortable that way. So closing your eyes, and let's just take this time to bring our awareness to our breath, our body, our mind. And just checking in with all three, noticing how we feel today. Noticing if the mind is busy. Noticing if there's tension within the body. If there is, just think of relaxing and letting it go. As you bring your next breath in, let's slowly bring our arms up overhead and just stretch our body nice and long. If you want, you can interlace the fingers and press the palms out, flexing or pointing the feet. Nice long stretch here, and then exhale, bring the arms back alongside of the body, and then one at a time, let's bring the knees up to the chest, clasping our hands under the knees. Knees can be together or open, whatever feels good for you. And then just taking a moment here. If you want, you can do a little rocking movement side to side. You can move your feet. This is just a nice release for the low back, the hips. And then we'll exhale, plant your feet back down onto the mat. Adjust your back body so you're feeling space between the low back and your mat. Shrug the shoulders to the ears, let the shoulders relax, and step your feet apart. Bring your arms out to a T, a bit lower than the shoulders. Taking a breath in here. Exhale, drop the knees to the left. Inhale, knees up to center. Exhale, knees drop to the right. Inhale, knees up to center. Exhale, knees drop to the left. Inhale, up. Exhale, knees drop to the right, releasing the low back, hips, and pelvis. Let's do a couple more. And then we'll go ahead and roll over onto our side, staying here for a few breaths. Engage your abdominals in and up to bring yourself upright. And we'll come to hands and knees now. If you need to pad your mat, if you're on a hardwood floor, sometimes that bothers your knees, you can place a blanket under the knees. And we're just going to line the knees under the hips, and wrists are slightly forward over shoulders. Fingers are wide. And on our next breath in, let's go ahead and lift the sit-bone spine and head. Lessen this movement if we have any disc issues. Exhale, tuck your tail end around the spine, letting the head go. Inhale, lift the sit-bone spine and head. Exhale, tuck the tail end around the spine, letting the head go. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck. lift. exhale, tuck and press into your hands and sit back on the heels. Staying here for a moment, letting the arms out, stretch in front of you, tailbone drops down, feeling the tops of our shoulders, the tops of our legs, and maybe a bit of a stretch in the low back. And then we'll take a breath in here, exhale, walk the hands over to the left, feeling a stretch in your left side body. Inhaling, exhale, walk the hands back to center. Take another breath in. Exhale, walk the hands over to the left. Feeling a stretch in the right side body. Inhaling, exhaling back to center. Off of the heels, back to hands and knees. From here, tuck your tail under, round the spine, letting the head go. Take a breath in here. Exhale, curl the toes under and lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So when we're in this position, we're tucking the tail, rounding the spine, and then lifting. And if you're noticing any tension in the low back and the backs of your legs, step your feet apart. If you have tight hamstrings like me, you're going to step those feet apart. And then begin to elongate the side rib cage here. Gaze is at your knees. Some people like to alternate heels coming down, and that's fine too. Taking a few breaths in downward facing dog. Releasing and letting go of any tension here and not forcing it. Walk the feet about hip width apart behind us, and then drop the knees down. Coming back to hands and knees. Take a few moments on hands and knees again. And then from here, we'll step the left foot forward. If you need help, we can grab the back of the left leg, helping the left foot forward, and we'll frame out our left foot. With hands on either side, right knee is behind your right sitting bone. If that's too intense, you can bring that right knee underneath the hip. And staying here for a moment, gaze is forward on the floor. If you have yoga bricks or thick books, you can place those under your hands so you're elevating, coming a bit up higher if you find this to be too intense. And then take your left hand and bring it to the inside of your left foot here. Okay, so you might be on the tips of your fingertips here. You can do that as well. Or again, having something to elevate the floor up to you. Okay. And you can stay here, or you can bend your elbows and come down a little bit further here. Now feeling your left hip. And then some of you more advanced yogis, you can come into high lunge. So keeping your hands on the inside of your left foot and lifting your right knee up off of the mat, staying here, or bend your elbows. Or if you're able to come to the mat, go ahead and do that with your forearms. Again, lifting something coming up from the floor. So books or yoga bricks, you can do that as well. A few breaths here. And this is like releasing and opening up the hips too. And then exhale if you're in high lunge. Right knee comes down. And then we'll step back to hands and knees. Taking a few breaths here. And now we'll take the right foot forward, framing out our right foot with hands on either side, staying in low lunge here. Left knee is behind behind the left sit bone. Gaze is forward. And then taking the right hand to the inside of your right foot. So the right hand is next to the arch of your right foot, staying here, or bending your elbows, coming down a little bit here. For the high lungers, curling the left toes under, lifting the left kneecap up. And then bending the elbows, or bringing the floor up to you with a yoga brick or books. Bring the forearms all the way to the mat for those who are very flexible and open. And then we'll exhale, bring your left knee down for our high lungers and step back to hands and knees. Taking a few breaths here. Now we'll move into a gentle pigeon pose. So for those who have knee issues, I want you to come onto your back like this. Just your back body. And then you'll take your right ankle, and some of you might want to just do this anyway. Take your right ankle, place it on top of your left knee, flexing your right foot, and then gently right knee comes forward. Okay? And if you have a little more, if you're not feeling much sensation in this position, then bring your left foot up off the mat and reach and grab the thigh of your left leg. And so this is your modification for knee issue people, or people that want to take it a little less into the pose. Otherwise, get a pillow, a firm pillow. I'm going to get a yoga brick here. And we'll all come to hands and knees. So you're going to have a pillow ready, a book ready, or a yoga brick. And then you'll slide your right knee between your hands. Left leg is back, like this. And kind of doing the splits. And then moving into the splits a little bit more. So you'll kind of bring that left leg back. And so your right knee is pointing forward between your hands, okay? And you can stay here balancing this way. You want to avoid dropping over to the side like this. Keep your pelvis hovering over the mat like this, okay? And the reason why I said to come on, so if you have knee issues, you should have come into the modification that I gave, because this is deep flexion of the knee, okay? Otherwise, hands are on either side like this, staying in the upright position, or you can start to come down. Using a brick in front of you, placing the forearm on the brick or something to elevate you is fine. Some of you might be able to get to the mat like this, and some of you might be able to go all the way down like this, okay? You want to take this deeper for those who feel a little bit more flexible in the hip. And you're going to start to bring your right knee out to the right, creeping your left foot forward. And then you might be elevating that right sit bone up off of the mat. So we want something to bring the floor up to us then. So let's slide that brick right underneath, or a cushion, a firm cushion, or a phone book, or whatever you're using, okay? So, and then we'll stay in this position, upright, and just feeling how that feels, okay? And if you're not feeling much here, you can start to come forward and down on the floor like this. Or arms outstretched and forehead is down. And the brick also, or whatever is elevating you, will also keep your pelvis hovering over the mat too. And we'll stay there for a few breaths. So I'll just come down here. you're on your back and you're staying there, and then we'll come up. And then very easily, going back to hands and knees. Not easily, I don't think that was the right word, but easing yourself out of the pose, okay? So now we'll do the left leg. So now I'll just show the modification real quick. So if you're already on your back, you're going to do the same thing with your left foot. So now your left ankle comes on top of your right knee, flexing your left foot, pressing the left knee forward. And if that's not giving you much sensation, bring your right foot up and grab the thigh of your right leg. And you'll definitely start to feel it then. Okay, so those are for our people on the back, on our back. Otherwise, we're hands and knees. And then we'll slide the left knee between the hands and straighten the right leg. So like a half splits type of thing. Staying in this position with the knee pointing forward, hands on either side of our knee. Stay here, or ease yourself down, coming onto the forearms or forehead down, and arms out in front. If you find that you're rocking, you can stabilize yourself by bringing a brick underneath your left hip, or a book, or whatever you're using. Otherwise, we're going to come up. And then if you want to take this deeper, walking your left foot forward a bit, left knee comes out to the left a bit. Some people will be able to bring the shin of your left leg across the mat. We want to be mindful of that, okay? Because that's taking it very far. Just depends on how we're feeling, flexibility-wise. And we'll take that brick, because I'm not all the way to the mat. I'm pretty close, but I'm not all the way. So I'm going to take my brick underneath my left hip, my left bottom. Okay, so now I'm a little more stabilized. I'm not rocking side to side. I'm nice and stabilized because I brought the floor up to me. Hands in front like this. Or bending the elbows, or coming onto the forearms, or all the way down. And staying here. Some of you, if you're feeling the connection of the mat underneath you, and then you don't need to have support, and then you can come all the way down, okay? So this is also a modification coming onto the forearms, and I'm going to stay here just because I need to talk and I want you to hear me. And the pelvis is hovering over the mat, feeling the left outer hip, and you might feel some other parts of the leg here. And then we'll slowly come up and very carefully come back and angle yourself back to hands and knees. Okay, so make sure that for those who are on the back, roll over onto your side a few breaths and join us back to hands and knees. And we'll take an inhalation here. Exhale, tuck your tail under, round the spine towards the ceiling. Moving into downward facing dog, contract the abdominals, curl the toes under, lift the hips, back to down dog. Stepping your feet apart if you're feeling hamstring or low back or in your sitting bone area. Elongate the side rib cage. Alternating heels coming down. If you want, you don't have to. A few breaths here. And then exhale, walk your feet together, bring the knees back down. And now we will sit, bring our feet forward, folding your thighs or reaching forward and contract the abdominals. Take a breath in here. Exhale, lower down. Nice and slow, working the abdominals a little bit here. And then coming all the way back down onto the mat. Let's do some windshield wipering of the legs. So arms out to a T. And then inhale here, exhale, knees drop over. It doesn't matter which side. Inhaling up, exhaling, knees drop over. Inhaling up, exhaling, knees drop over. Inhaling up, exhaling, knees drop over. Good. Bring the knees back up to center. Bring your feet apart again, knees together, arms by your sides or hands rest on your belly. Excuse me. And just relaxing here. Goodness gracious. Just feeling those subtle releases in the lower body. Soles of your feet together, let the knees drop open. If you'd like to continue Shavasana relaxation with either one of those, you can. Otherwise, legs will be straight. You can also prop the knees with a rolled blanket underneath the knees if you'd like. Arms by your side, palms are up, or hands rest on your belly, whatever feels good for you. You can also support the back of your head with a folded blanket as well. And just getting very comfortable. You're going to take this time for yourself. You can use as many minutes as you want as we kind of end class now. So I'll just leave you here, and I'm going to roll onto my side and take a few breaths here. And then coming up, you guys can stay where you're at. And just becoming aware of your breath, your body. Each time you exhale, just let the body relax into the earth beneath you. And I'll bring my hands together to my heart center as I leave you here. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace